Brad Garlinghouse was just announced to be a speaker at an upcoming XRP event scheduled for February 27th of 2026, aka XRP Australia from Wave of Innovation. This is definitely going to be a very exciting event. I recently talked about it in a video recently as well. So I'm excited for this one, especially considering the fact that it's very similar to like XRP Apex, where we will see a lot of great discussions around the XRP ecosystem, what's coming, what's happening, and really kind of what's just planned around the ecosystem. And of course, by February of 2026, almost March technically, I'm sure that we will see a ton of great updates as well, because on top of that, we also have another huge event upcoming, which is Ripple Swell. And we are still seeing a ton of updates around this. We are constantly seeing new speakers announced around this. This is going to be November 4th and 5th, so it's upcoming pretty quick. It's going to be in New York of this year as well, so very exciting stuff. A ton of great discussions will be had at this event. And what's interesting is a new speaker that just got announced was Patrick Witt, who is the executive director of the President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets at the White House. Here we have the announcement. We're excited to welcome Patrick Witt from the White House's Digital Assets Council to our keynote speaker lineup at Ripple Swell 2025. This is a conversation you can't miss. So yeah, this is very exciting stuff. Ton of great discussions, like I said, will be had, and a lot of great speakers. Of course, Adina Friedman, we just recently talked about the NASDAQ and what they're planning. There is a ton of speakers, major players from BNY, from even exchanges in the space like Kraken, Franklin Templeton, Citi, Fidelity, Bitwise, BlackRock, Robinhood, JP Morgan. I mean, it's just crazy to see all of these big names. So I'm definitely excited for this event. We will most likely see some partnerships announced from this as well, maybe even a new acquisition. We've been hearing a lot about acquisitions lately. Again, I just think that Ripple Swell is definitely one of the biggest ones to really kind of lock in on the year. Just along with XRP Apex, it's definitely another big event that I always tap into and really kind of read and see what's happening around the event, because we typically get a lot of great insights. Now, talking about acquisitions, though, I want to go all the way back to April of this year, because we were talking about Hidden Road and how big of an acquisition this actually is. In fact, we talked about how it's much bigger than what everyone was assuming it to be. So we got the announcement on April 8th. For $1.25 billion, Ripple was acquiring Hidden Road. Now, Hidden Road is definitely a big player. We heard from Brad Garlinghouse that it's $3 trillion per year that Hidden Road is clearing, with 300 plus of the top financial institutions globally. This capital will tap into XRP and the XRP ledger's movement of value. We know that that was the announcement from April. And again, this is still a very big deal. However, what if I told you that it's even bigger than that? We have officially, over here from the 24th, introducing Ripple Prime. We are pleased to share that our acquisition of Hidden Road is officially complete, making Ripple the first crypto company to move and operate a global multi-asset prime broker, bringing the promise of digital assets to institutional customers at scale. Guys, what's even crazier about this, okay, is we just witnessed one of the biggest acquisitions with G Treasury. We talked about it. We addressed it. Now, on top of that video, right, we did talk about the Hidden Road acquisition, because this acquisition is huge, right? Major markets being tapped in, tons of value. I mean, even if we go to the original announcement going back to April, right, we could see a few of the key highlights here. The post-trade activity across the XRP ledger, demonstrating its potential as the go-to blockchain for institutional decentralized finance. We've always been talking about institutional DeFi in a big way. They were addressing, prime brokerage, clearing, financing across FX, digital assets, derivatives, swaps, and fixed income. Again, this was a huge announcement. It was a great announcement. It's now live. This is now live. Hidden Road is officially a part of Ripple. And Brad Garlinghouse recently made a post regarding this. We're going to talk about that here in a second, but let's first start off with the fact that we heard from Michael Arrington. We are finally onboarded with Hidden Road. It has a bunch of incredible tools for our business as a hedge fund. Ripple has made some incredible acquisitions, but Hidden Road may be the best one so far. There are incredible synergies between the Hidden Road business and Ripple stablecoin, for example. And yes, that's because if we go back to the original announcement, we can see that RLUSD will become the first stablecoin to enable efficient cross-margining between digital assets and traditional markets, reinforcing its position as a premium enterprise-grade USD-backed stablecoin. RLUSD is now going to be tapped in behind prime brokerage, clearing, financing, FX markets, derivatives markets. I mean, this is huge for RLUSD because it reinforces its position as an enterprise-grade USD-backed stablecoin with real utility as Hidden Road leverages it as a collateral across its prime brokerage products. This will make RLUSD the first stablecoin to enable efficient cross-margining between the digital asset space and traditional markets. But also XRP will be positioned at the forefront through institutional DeFi. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, said this: with today's close of Hidden Road, now Ripple Prime, Ripple has announced 5 major acquisitions in 2 years. G Treasury last week, Rail in August, Standard Custody in 2024, Medico in 2023, as we continue to build solutions towards enabling the Internet of Value. I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. Again, let me remind you guys of what he just said. I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Guys, that statement is so bullish because I've been telling you guys for so long that XRP is one of Ripple's top priorities because the XRP ledger is core infrastructure essentially to what Ripple is trying to accomplish. Now, let's lock in to the official announcement. It's prime time. Ripple closes Hidden Road acquisition to bring prime brokerage into the digital age. Earlier this year, Ripple announced its intent to acquire Hidden Road, one of the fastest growing non-bank prime brokers in the world, offering institutions a one-stop shop for advanced services including clearing, prime brokerage, and financing across foreign exchange, digital assets, derivatives, swaps, and fixed income. The acquisition is complete, and Hidden Road is now Ripple Prime. This is an exciting new chapter for Ripple, making it the first crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker and bring the promise of digital assets to institutional customers at scale. In fact, since the initial announcement of the acquisition, Ripple Prime's business has grown by 3x, and additional growth for new and existing customers is expected. The synergies between the two businesses made the acquisition a logical next step to support institutional adoption of digital assets. Ripple's foundational digital asset infrastructure across payments, crypto custody, and stablecoins, as well as the use of XRP, will complement the services offered within Ripple Prime. In the future, Ripple Prime will look to leverage blockchain capabilities in its business to streamline operations and optimize cost. Ripple Prime will significantly enhance the utility and reach of Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD. Today, RLUSD is being used as collateral for a number of prime brokerage products. Certain derivatives customers have already opted to hold their balances in RLUSD, which is expected to grow substantially in the coming months. RLUSD's robust regulatory compliance has made it widely trusted by institutions, providing them with the necessary assurance to integrate it into their financial operations. In July, RLUSD was ranked the #1 stablecoin for stability, governance, and asset backing by Blue Chip, who gave it an A rating. Ripple also announced that the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation will serve as the primary reserve custodian of RLUSD, underscoring Ripple's commitment to meeting the highest expectations of institutional users and regulators. And of course, yes, we do have a crypto in 1 minute. How can prime brokers bring institutions into DeFi? If you guys do want to go check this video out, you guys are more than welcome to. This was announced when they announced the acquisition of Hidden Road initially. So again, if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to. But this is one of 5 major acquisitions by Ripple in the past 2 years, including an announcement to acquire treasury management system provider G Treasury last week, stablecoin powered payment platform Rail in August 2025, the acquisition of Standard Custody in June of 2024, and Medico in May of 2023. In many ways, the two companies are cut from the same cloth and have shared DNA, from a similar global footprint with offices around the world to a joint passion for and strength in technology, risk management, and operational controls. Both teams are excited for continued integration throughout the year, with Hidden Road founder and CEO Mark Ash working directly alongside Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and the rest of the leadership team. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a game changer around the entire ecosystem for XRP, for ROUSD. And one thing from this acquisition that I really wanted to focus on was derivatives, because for the longest time, we've always speculated on derivatives hitting, these public networks because it's quadrillions of dollars. And I think that this post over here from Smoke Dog really puts us into perspective on how big this acquisition really is. We have Ripple plus Hidden Road, ROUSD integrated into the derivatives market, quadrillions of dollars. And here we have an image, and let me open this up in the new tab just so that you guys can see it. So we have the target from Hidden Road. Their offerings include prime brokerage services in foreign exchange, precious metals, digital assets, and over-the-counter swaps across various asset classes, clearing solutions for derivatives. And then on the right side, we do have in December of 2024, Ripple launched its Ripple USD stablecoin focused on institutions. The coin would use XRP to help add liquidity. Now, for thinking about derivatives, we go back to this announcement from the 23rd of September. CFTC to allow stablecoins as collateral in US derivatives markets for the first time. This perfectly aligns with Hidden Road being acquired by Ripple, because now ROUSD can be utilized for US derivatives markets. This all aligns perfectly. This is also why I keep saying that Ripple is, when we think about everything happening around Ripple and even XRP, I've said it 100 times, it's all planned. I feel like almost every single thing that we have seen so far is all by plan. Ripple is operating on a completely different level than we are aware. Everyone that still thinks that Ripple is some, sort of random blockchain-based company that's been very successful over the years, and XRP is just this random, cryptocurrency that was created out of thin air by, a few players like David Schwartz, etc., just because, right? Oh, it's the second coming of Bitcoin, essentially. No, all of this was planned. All of this was planned, and we're now witnessing everything aligning perfectly. I don't believe that this is a coincidence. I feel like this is all pre-planned ahead. We also know that Caroline DePam from the CFTC has met with Brad Garlinghouse on multiple occasions as well. I just feel as if all of this has been planned, but this is a huge update regarding this acquisition. And again, it's one of 5 in the last, 2 years. It goes to show you how fast Ripple is moving at this point. This is exactly what happens when all of the obstacles are removed. This is how fast things start to happen. And Ripple, they're blazing. They are, pushing the pedal to the metal, and they are in overdrive mode. I love to see this. This is incredible to see. And of course, with this acquisition, I really do think that we are going to see massive amounts of money moving over ROUSD and even XRP. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.